Happy Independence Day 2019. In this video, I'm going to show you a archive DVD footage of me exactly 10 years ago on the 4th of July, jumping out of an airplane dressed as a convict with a penis helmet on. And then I'll end the video with me trying my hand at public speaking in the form of stand-up comedy, where these are embarrassing and downright hilarious to watch. They do serve a very good purpose, and that is the topic of this video: facing our fears in order to surpass them and reach our dreams. Right here on Then Came Sober James.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Now, before we view me at the age of 28 jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, if you're new here, my name is James. I am a grateful recovering drug addict and alcoholic. I spent 20 years of my life recklessly using and abusing drugs and alcohol, damn near dying, and I've been recovering for 3.5. I post videos here on this channel for you to explore addiction, recovery, sobriety, and everything in between. Feel free to subscribe and hit the bell, comment, share to get this message out there. Now, let's talk about fear. I made this video because I have been noticing that fear in sobriety is a key player in whether or not we can actually function as non-using and abusing individuals. Me personally, I used to drink and use and do things like get up on stage, beatbox, showman this, showman that, and I would face my fears under the cloak of comfort of drugs and alcohol. When I got sober, I realized I didn't have the guts, frankly, to do half this stuff that I wanted to do. So I thought, why not just do them? Well, we'll take a look here and you'll see what I mean. But it was 4th of July 2009. I have been sober or dry. I tried an easier, softer way of not drinking for, I went 10 months that time. This was somewhere in the middle of those 10 months, but well, here, let's take a look. I am 28 at the time, July 4th, 2009, skydive. There I am. As you can see, I am facing a fear of going bald as well by damn near shaving my head. Cameraman is asking, what made you go skydiving and stuff? I told him, I'm facing my fears, brother, and I'm doing it on your watch. So strap me in, strap me up, let's do this damn thing. I was saying some other corny shit. When I'm facing fears like of this magnitude, I get into a zone of practicality, caution, and there I am in my penis suit. Escaped convict number 28379, high water wearing, penis helmet on. Everybody else has the coolest gear possible. Crash, the guy, I think that's him right there on the left, he's the guy that's going to strap himself to my back and jump out. He was wearing, his nickname is Crash. He's got the coolest goggles, coolest helmet. He's got a jumpsuit that looks like a crash test dummy with the checkered, things on it. This is Mohawk Valley in upstate New York. That's the Mohawk River. We are now lifting off to get to an altitude of, I believe, 9,500 feet, where I will hurl myself out of an airplane and plummet towards planet Earth at a speed of God knows what, for a length of God knows how long. As you can see, they fitted my penis helmet with some titty goggles and a nice nifty little altimeter. He's asking me how high we are. I said, hi. He said, rock on, dude. I said, you rock on, you man. Oh, this is where he opens the door. Now, I watch this video and I think this is usually where people back out. right there where they look at the what they've decided to do, and he's waiting for me to back out. But no such chance. I'm already in the zone of do or die, do the damn thing. I'm gonna do this thing. I'm terrified of heights, and I mean I will get on ledges and be paralyzed with just fear, knees shaking and everything. This was somewhat different. I was mentally prepared. Plus I had Crash the midget. He's about 5'4", I'm 6'4". He's strapped to my back. He's like basically 1, 2, 3, go. Cross your arms, this is how you're gonna be in the casket. And off we go. Now this was the best part of the jump, in my opinion. I got to kind of relax, living, I was in the moment. I was just looking around, feeling the air on my face. I saw the cameraman, so I threw double slayers and then just proceeded to enjoy it. I was enjoying it a little too much because Crash, you can see him looking at his altimeter, and I was supposed to be looking at mine. He reminds me and then pulls the chute because we probably hit 5,500 feet. These are some still shots of me. Oh man. Yeah, so I did it. I got in the airplane, I got on the edge, I jumped off, I skydove. Free fall was excellent. That was the pilot chute, or whatever chute keeps you stable or whatever. And then when he actually pulls the chute, which was my job by the way, but I was somewhere, I wasn't paying attention, unfortunately. This is why we go tandem. But the best part was free fall. The worst part coming up right here is when he pulled the chute. Now, if you are a dude, you will understand what I mean when everything from my innards to my outards then became my upwards, and everything rushed into my throat, including the monster drink, the bacon and eggs, my testicles, my stomach, everything. So the chute deploying was the worst part of it. Not pleasant at all, and also being suspended 5,500 feet in the air by a sheet in the wind is also kind of unnerving. Right here you can see him. He told me, lift your feet up or don't try to land with your feet. You'll break your ankles with the weight of me on your back. So we kind of just tumbled to the ground, and I said gnarly dudes, and that was that. Skydiving. My attempt to conquer my fear of heights. It was scary. I just did it. There was danger. I knew it. However, what I'm trying to get across in this video is fear, I have noticed, blocks us from very many things in life. That is an example of one. I would have never gotten to do that if I had succumbed to my fear. I noticed my dad's dog, Abby, the Foodle, she plays with her ball, and if it goes into an area where she is scared of things tumbling down on her or she's not sure of, she doesn't get her ball. So her fear is keeping her from the ball. And I believe Albert Einstein says, look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better. And I don't have any gray wolves out in the woods here, but I do have Abby, and I would watch her and see that her fears are preventing her from various things. Now we have the benefit of being civilized, reasonable beings, and that is what I'd like to talk about in this video. While I'm on the quote tip, let's just quote a couple more. This one, Starbuck. Starbuck was the first mate of the Pequod in the novel, the book Moby Dick, where they were hunting a whale. We all know the story. It's a big giant sperm whale, and everybody, and it destroys it, and it's a big scary thing. Classic novel, and he says, "Let no man on my boat who is not afraid of the whale." Herman Melville wrote this book, and I looked into some analysis of that statement, and basically, common sense dictates it basically means fear is natural, and if you fake not being afraid, you can't get on a boat, because that is a dangerous man or woman, someone who claims to not be afraid. Courage isn't defined as having no fear. Courage is defined as having fear and moving anyway, moving onward, standing up to it anyway. Another quote in that book has nothing to do with fear, but I like it. Better to sleep with a sober cannibal than a drunk Christian. This was said by Ishmael, the only surviving crew member and the narrator of the entire story. Better to sleep with a sober cannibal than a drunk Christian. So here in a little bit, I'm gonna end the video with a full, it's like a 5-minute video of me on stage trying stand-up comedy. I used to get so excited about stand-up comedy. I still get excited about it. I'm very passionate about comedy, and it takes the power away from the horrible things in life, and I'm really, comedy plays a big part in living day to day for me. But I always wanted to get on stage and do it, but fear kept me for many years. And the video I will play after we're done talking about a couple things here is last year I did it 4 or 5 times. This is one of those times. And that's scary too. It's almost like social skydiving. Public speaking, more people on earth fear public speaking than fear death. That means more people would rather die than get on stage. When I first started public speaking, I realized there was some fear in me. This is obviously the fear of rejection, social negativity, and this, that, and the other thing. And to me, when I watch my dog not go get her ball because of her non-valid, unreasonable fears, it makes me question, what am I not doing that I want to do in my life? What am I not doing in sobriety? What did I used to drink to do because I'm so afraid of it? And I started facing my fears, 10, 15 years ago, and have been ever since, and I'm still doing it. Of course, one of the most common fears is approaching the opposite sex. This is a man's job traditionally to approach, if he's interested, a woman. And whether you have game or not, it is difficult at first, and even to this day. In middle school, I got expelled from a middle school for getting drunk on a pint of rum before school. The doctors and my parents asked me why I did it, and I was drunk. I had nothing but the truth to give, and I said to talk to girls. I wanted to talk to girls. It was liquid courage. Liquid courage that term doesn't exist for nothing. And when I got sober, I had to learn how to flirt. In sobriety, I had to learn how to approach. I had to learn because I wanted somebody to share this life with, as we all do. But in order to do that, you got to learn how to talk to girls. You got to learn how to work on your game. You got to learn how to not be nervous when it is one of the scariest things on earth. And heights and talking to women and public speaking and buying a house and sobriety, not drinking for the rest of our lives, it's scary. However, I have faced these things, and once you face them, you shed a light on the boogeyman that has been in your mind, and you've heard it before, nothing is as big as our minds make it. And once we face our fears, once, twice, 3 times a lady, they do dissipate in intensity. Definition of fear.
Unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat.
An unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. Now, here's the most interesting thing to me of that definition. Caused by the belief. Now, in the steps of AA, one of the steps, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity, we came to believe. It is important to come to believe. Now, if you don't believe in God, or you don't believe in Jesus, or you don't believe in Buddha, and you don't believe in whatever you believe in, it is important to come to believe that a power greater than ourselves, because belief is so powerful that it can save you from yourself in addiction. These steps work, they have for 100 years, and it can also influence you in one way or another in life. The belief that someone is a threat or will cause harm. So I long ago started examining, what do I believe that is keeping me from the things that I want in life? Shortly after 9/11 happened, I joined the United States Navy. I then spent a total of 18 months on nuclear aircraft carriers in the Persian Gulf, supporting Iraqi freedom and enduring freedom, and it was war. 12 on, 12 off, straight up war, 110 degrees on the flight deck, landing, taking off, bombs, missiles, leaving but not coming back, war. Now, that was another fear that I faced, not to mention that the flight deck is 90 feet off of the water, which is super high. I faced a lot of fears in the Navy. My point is, I purposely, through experience, find that facing our individual fears is beyond beneficial. It is a shortcut to wisdom along with pain, and it is also a very efficient way to live life. Here's another point. Guilt is fear, and one of the things we do when we get sober is we begin to clean house and eradicate all of the things that make us feel guilty, the things that we're shameful of. We tell ourselves, another human being, and God these secrets. We're only as sick as our secrets. The more guilty we are, the more fearful we become. I had a thought one time. It is funny how things go bump in the night just as you fear that they might. When we're guilty, we fear there's going to be a bump that related directly to our guilty act. When I got in my car accident, that video I'll post up here in this lowercase I explain how that DUI, I was in a coma for 3 months, but when I woke up I realized that DUI would be my third DUI, would have been a felony. I lived in fear for months to come. I retained a lawyer and everything because I thought the cops were walking in at any moment. I lived in fear because I was guilty. When we're guilty and we hold secrets, we're very fearful. And I'm hoping that this video maybe starts a dialogue in your own mind about what you're fearful of. One more thing before we see how downright hilarious I am on stage. I read a book called The Power of Now. This is by a German spiritual guru. His name is Eckhart Tolle. You can check it out. I'll put the link down below. And it is a book that changed my life. It is all about living in the present moment, more or less, and it discusses how 80 or more % of human beings live in fear because of we're always thinking about the future. We're not living in the present. We're always thinking about the future or the past. The future can make you feel anxious and fearful, and the past makes you feel depressed and hopeless. And you know what? We are not fortune tellers. We like to think we are because we have egos the size of, big Hindenburg blimps, but we're not fortune tellers. We cannot tell the future. We cannot tell what's going to happen. We can only see if we jump out of the plane. We can only see if we go on the stage. We can only see if we go talk to that girl. So, in a nutshell, let us not get drunk and messed up on pills and all that to face our fears. Let us leave that behind and let us examine our fears by facing them like men, like women, like the strong and powerful, complex individuals that we are. Well, I'm going to start the video of Here it's a 5-minute video of me on stage. And until next time, keep it real, keep it clean, and keep doing this damn thing. All right, see you next time.
Give it up for James Burkowski!
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. I like you. You're a participant.
Thank you.
How's it going? Jesse, your opening wasn't bad at all. I wish it was worse. Now I have to go. Are we having fun tonight? Are we having fun? Good. Good, because we can go home on a note, good or bad. We learned a couple things. We learned that one man's dog's balls are bigger than his, and we have a racist Cheeto for a president, and Jesse may or may not be wanted for aggravated assault and manslaughter at the QT. So that's good. We learned a lot about each other. And let's learn a little about me. I'm James. I'm from New York, and if you're not racist, down here you are, I don't even know what you call that term, prejudiced against geological location. Anyway, my openings suck too. So here's the thing about tonight. We're going to play a little game. It's called, you guys pick the opening. I had 3 openings in store. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to demonstrate all 3 options, and maybe you can give me your best opinion. Are we ready to play?
Yeah.
All right, good, because that's what we're doing. Okay, so here's how I pictured it in my head. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this.
Where'd you go?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh no.
please. Oh, one note. I thought in my head I thought these were all the way to the ground. So you'll have to forgive my memory. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next comedian. He is literally the greatest person you will ever meet in your entire life. Please welcome to the stage, James Borkowski. Hey, thanks. How are Skittles so delicious? Has anyone figured this out yet?
No.
Okay, so that's my first opening. I guess we all know what the vote is on that one. But all right, let's keep it moving. Okay, so here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce our next comedian. This is in fact the highlight of my announcing career, to watch this man work. He is by far the most magnificent being in the universe. Please welcome to the stage, James Borkowski. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Wow. You guys are sexy. I wasn't prepared for not being the sexiest person here. You are some sexy motherfuckers, and or daddy fuckers, daddy and or motherfuckers. So that joke, that was preparing for, I forgot to mention, the reason I have to do the 3 is because I can't see you. These lights have this retina scorching effect, and I don't know what my audience looks like, so I didn't know which opening to go for. I'm backtracking. Well, anyway. That one, the first one, the Skittle one, was for if you were a bunch of fatties. That one I just did obviously was for if you were super sexy. Now, all right, let's get this over with, because obviously the WikiHow article on how to be a stand-up comedian isn't as useful as I thought it would be. All right, opening number 3. Y'all ready? Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my dearest friend,
whom I sold my only child to the Chinese black market to trade into for hopes of getting him as my adopted son. I will end my life after this set, for this is the pinnacle of my career to introduce this man. Please give a warm welcome to James Borkowski. Thank you. Man, so I drove from Simpsonville. Did anybody else drive here tonight?
Yeah.
Good. This is called the Yes Train. I'm getting you on a positive, it's a sales technique. Did you drive here tonight, or did you arrive? Good. Does anybody like sex and food? Good. We're getting somewhere. Excellent. Well, anyway, I was driving, and drivers suck out there, don't they? Yeah, they do. All right. All right, cool. Well, maybe next time I will come back with your favorite. Which one did you like, by the way? Skittles, being sexy, or drivers suck?
Drivers suck.
All right. Well, I'll remember that for next time, and y'all take care. I'm James Borkowski. Thank you.